What's up, guys? This is Christina107 on Twitter and Tumblr and Pinterest. Yay! And this is going to be about DC Comics, of course, and a little something extra at the end. But let's talk about what's important. What everybody's freaking out about, that I literally actually asked someone and was like, I'm not sure when this takes place, so I'm not sure if I should be worried, but you shouldn't. If you're a Superman and Wonder Woman fan, don't be worried. Because guess what? Forever Evil takes place before Superman and Wonder Woman #1. So all of the events that happened in Forever Evil, all this Batman Wonder Woman thing happened before Superman and Wonder Woman, which means they're still together, which means they're currently still together. I know, it's so weird. I'm so sorry, Chloe's fans. Your dreams have just been crushed, and I don't feel bad about it. Let's just put it this way. Batman is a man about the mission and his feelings towards any woman in the DC universe, because Batman has a harem of women that he has slept with in DC, Lois Lane included. So he's about the mission, and the safest place for Wonder Woman to be is with Superman, because Superman is his solution to her. Just saying, it's better. If Batman truly believed that Diana was a truly enough threat, he would probably end it. But he hasn't yet, has he? Because they're not a threat. He's probably figured it out by now that they really do care about each other. And you know what? Let the damn farm boy be happy. I know, it's hard. It's hard, Chloe's fans, because you guys are always so angry. Like, ridiculously angry. Listen. DC is in the business of making money. It's all about ka-ching. It's not about what you or I want. It's about ka-ching. And Superman and Wonder Woman is selling. It's getting great reviews. And more people, each and every issue of Superman and Wonder Woman, more and more people are liking it. They're getting into it, they're digging it, because it's not mushy, it's not sappy. You know, I love The Notebook as much as anybody, but I'm more of a Han Solo, Princess Leia type of girl myself. So, even in number 8, where you have this moment, it was Superman Doomed, #1. You have this moment between Clark and Diana where she kind of punches him in the arm and says, you know, just go, bring me back his head. And Clark's like, that's the most romantic thing you've ever said to me. And you flipped out about that. Like, oh, she didn't say I love you. She didn't try to stop him. I was like, she's a warrior. She's a soldier. And you do what you have to do. Whatever you want, doesn't matter. It's what's important. It's for the greater good. So, yeah. When Lois and Clark make more money than Superman and Wonder Woman, your stuff will come back. Just saying. When the sales drop off, your clothes will come back, and a lot of people won't be reading DC anymore. I still have Wonder Woman, so I'm still good. But I won't be picking up Action Comics anymore. So, kind of bad to think about. But money talks. Put your money where your mouth is. If you guys are like me and want Superman and Wonder to survive, give DC your money. Like they did this week. And last week, I spent $20 on comics. And all of them were DC. Because I had a choice between getting that or Iron Fist and Loki Agents of Asgard. And I went with Superman and Wonder Woman. So, just saying. You're getting my money, DC. Be smart. Be smart. Evil Dead reference. Okay. Enough about that stupidness. Let's talk about what's really important. Superman Doomed. #1. It was good. The story was great. It's written by Charles Soule and Greg Pak. Charles Soule, Superman, Wonder Woman, She-Hulk, and Greg Pak, he writes Action Comics. I know. It was really good. We find out that Doomsday was cocooning in the ocean after Clark beat him the last time, and he's evolved. He's absorbing the life force and energy from everything around him. The best scene was, hands down, the wildebeest in Africa running through the Serengeti, lit on fire. It was glorious. You're like, oh, they're wildebeest and they're running. And they're on fire. I know, right? So, Clark goes to talk to some people. He talks to the Justice League, talks to a scientist friend of his, and she's like, dude, I know you might not be able to kill him, but I pray to God that you do. Because if you don't stop him, the bigger and stronger he's going to get. So Clark decides that he's going to battle Doomsday not on Earth but on Venus. So he takes Doomsday to Venus, beats Doomsday up kind of, goes back home and lands in Smallville, and Doomsday goes, blam, I'm not done yet. Round 2. So they duke it out in Smallville, they're destroying stuff, and Clark makes a decision, because he's having something I really like about this series is you see inside his head. You see him say, I promised Lois, I promised Wonder Woman, I promised my he's like, I promised my girlfriend, I promised Diana, I promised everyone that I would end this and I would protect them, and I need to do what I need to do. So what does he do? He rips Doomsday in twain, just rah. And Doomsday's been oozing these purple spores, and they're everywhere. They're making people sick. So he inhales all of these purple spores and gets infected by Doomsday. So Clark himself is now going to turn into Doomsday. Super Doom. Oh my goodness. So that's where that's where Superman Doomed ends, and Action Comics number 31 begins with Clark leaving this scene and Lex Luthor being a dick. It's just what he does. You're like, really? Come on, guy. He just saved your ass, and now you're going to be a dick about it. No. So Lex is trying to tell Clark that you need to be quarantined. You're coming with me. I'm going to lock you up again. Just make sure that you're safely around people. And Clark has a fantasy about killing Lex. He just rips off his arm and just slams him into the ground. You're just like, Clark, you should have just done that in the first place. One of these times we're listening to your girlfriend, who's a warrior, say, some people just don't deserve to live. He's one of those guys. He just doesn't deserve to live anymore. I know it's bad to say, but we all know Lex. He's crazy. So when he kind of shakes out of it, he realizes that it was just a dream. Lex is still behind him. So he's like, oh, something's wrong. Something's not right in me. He's like, she dying. He's like, Diana's like, you're fine. Go off. Lex isn't to be trusted. And he flies off and goes to find Krypto. So cute. Him and a boy and his dog. Yay! So Krypto is off being a dog, and he brings back a leg of some creature. I think it's a deer. He killed Bambi and ate it. And him and Clark kind of laid out in the forest. And the next morning, Clark wakes up. He hears helicopter. Hunters are picking off wolves from a helicopter, which is bad. Bad. Hunting is fine for food, not for sport. And hunting from a helicopter is not fair. Bambi doesn't have a helicopter, because if they did, you'd be dead. Think about it. So Clark gets upset when these hunters, he believes, shoot Krypto. He flips his shit and goes, takes out the helicopter, and he kind of has this fantasy where he thinks that it's just a dream like the Lex thing, but it's not. The helicopter is beside him, and he's like, it's in the ground. Oops. So Clark's like, I need to go. I need to go somewhere. So he goes and flies to the Fortress of Solitude, and the fortress won't open. Krypto starts growling, and the DNA analysis, because it's voice and DNA operated. So basically, the voice says, voice recognized. DNA, nope, you're not getting in. Krypto growls at him, and you see his hand, you see his form, you see his Doomsday bones just popping out. You're just like, oh, we're all screwed. But hands down, my favorite scene is with Batman. I'm not a big Batman fan, because Bat God gets too much credit than he really deserves, in my opinion. But this one thing was like a boss. Batman goes back to Smallville, where the battle with Doomsday ended. He's looking around for evidence. He picks up a sample to test it to see if there's something that he can do to figure out how to cure Superman. Problem being, the military shows up and says you can't take that, and Batman's like, really? I'm Batman. Takes a grenade out of the bat belt and just goes, throop. Without looking back, it explodes. You're just like, Batman, that was cool. So with Clark out, gone, God knows where, Superman and Wonder Woman number 8 begins with Diana going to Metropolis. But before that, in the middle of the comic, we have a bunch of flashbacks of her talking to Lois, her talking to Lois, her talking to Cat, and her talking to Batman. So first she goes to Cat, and Cat tells her about this incident that Clark had where he was extremely aggressive and angry, and yet again we see the bones starting to protrude from his forearm. And Cat's like, "You're his girlfriend?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm his girlfriend. Hi." "He doesn't talk about you." Well, she's like, "Well, he's very private." And she pulls out her phone and has a message, and he's like, "He calls you gorgeous," and Dinah's like, "No." There was something in his voice that it was Clark, but then there was something else in there. Like demon-possessed Clark. And, Cat's like, "I haven't seen him." So, next she goes to find Lois, who is trying to break in somewhere in Smallville. You're like, really? She got saved by Wonder Woman. Yes, Lois. Dinah totally saved you from getting arrested. So Dinah, Charles still did something really cool. He embraced Brian Acello's that she's now war. She's war personified. And she talks to the soldier in his head. She's like, "I know who you are." He's like, "Sup, dude? I know you." He's like, how are you talking? How do you know who I am?" She's like, "I am war. All warriors know me and I know them." I was like, "Aw, snap." I like that. I really like that. It was really cool. And she asked Lois, "Have you seen Clark?" And she's like, "Nope. What are you doing here?" She's like, "I'm looking for clues." So Diana goes off and finds Batman flying around Metropolis. She lands on the Bat plane. You're just like, yeah, she's cool. So Batman tells her, "Did you look at his apartment? Did you go home?" And she's like, "Yeah, I went to the fortress." And people who got upset about this, let's put this into perspective. Batman is Bruce Wayne's mask. Green Lantern is Hal Jordan's mask. The Flash is Barry's mask. Kal-El's mask is Clark, not Superman. Superman, Kal-El, that is who he is. Clark is the mask. So she's like, "I'm not dating the mask. I'm dating the man. I'm dating Superman." That's who she's dating Kal-El, not Clark. So, yes, it's like, oh my God, like I would think like, oh, she would think that. You'd think that she would probably figure that out on her own. But truthfully, she is dating Kal-El, not Clark. Clark to her is a thing that he hides in. It's not who he is. Superman, Kal-El is who he is. That's what he is. He's this superpowered being, not the mild-mannered reporter. So once she kind of puts like, oh, dumbass, in the back of the head, she goes to his apartment in Smallville. She opens in Metropolis, opens the door, and his apartment looks trashed, and he is sitting in the corner looking spooky, gray and spooky, talking like, "Sup?" Some people like privacy. And Clark, I really do believe he knows he's losing the battle, and he tries to provoke Diana into killing him. Diana says, "I'm not going to kill you. We haven't gotten to that point yet, Clark." And he's like, right? I mean, how come this firstborn thing? How come you didn't come to me? Talk to me. I'm your boyfriend. You did it by yourself. You could have died. And she's like, "I told you about it afterwards." He's like, "But you could have died. Am I not good enough for you?" And then he brings up Batman. He's like, Batman's jealous of us. And Dinah's like, "You're not going to get away with that easy, Clark." So what does she do? She tells him the truth. She tells him that the man that she loves, the man that stole her heart, would fight this. He's stronger than this. He's better than this. He would fight tooth and nail to defeat this thing. And that's all it really took to kind of kick him in his ass. That's what she does. She kicks him in his ass, gets him into gear. It's what she does. That's why she's home. Lois is house, but Diana is home. Big difference. So she gets him up. He screams and shatters all the windows pretty much in Metropolis and the surrounding area. And you see Clark, he's collapsed on the ground and he's back to himself. And he's like, it's still there. He's apologizing to her about what he had said to her. He said some horrible things to her. And he's like, it's still there. And it wants to come out. And that's where it ends. And that's where Batman Superman number 11 picks up. And we get to see Krypto, Diana, and Bruce go to the Phantom Zone to find a possible cure for him, which is really kind of nice. I haven't picked it up yet, so when I pick it up on Sunday, I will do a review on Monday, and you guys will totally check it out. So on to other really cool things. One, Batman and Superman have a new, Man of Steel 2 has a new title, Batman and Superman Dawn of Justice. It's cheesy, but I like it. 2, we saw the Batmobile and Ben Affleck in the Batsuit. It is the Frank Miller Batsuit. Thank you. That's one of my favorite versions of Batman right there, Frank Miller. Because why? Frank Miller's Batman is old, angry, and crotchety and doesn't care anymore. He's like, I'm Batman. I'm angry. Grr. Who doesn't love angry Batman? Old, angry Batman. Also, the Batmobile looks more like the Tim Burton Batmobile that we all grew up with, because the other one really just looked like a tank that Batman was driving. It wasn't the Batmobile. That's just my opinion. It was still a good movie. It's just, that really wasn't the Batmobile. Batmobile's got fins and a big thing in the back. It's got flames coming out. You know. Also, which I think is really cool, we saw our first pictures of Gal Gadot in Detroit, looking very regal in blue, Clark's favorite color. I wonder what she was doing there. I hope she's not in there too much, because, you know, I want her to have her own movie, because we as Wonder Woman deserve our own goddamn movie. Yes, we do. Because if Disney and Marvel can do Rocket Raccoon and make it make sense, they can do Wonder Woman. Yes, they can. On to other really cool news of fan fiction. War is Coming is complete. Crime of Passion will be done in about 2 chapters. But the story, yet again, as always, is never ever complete. Because the next thing for Crime of Passion is Night of the Owl. Because this story really doesn't deal with Owlman. It deals with Lois. And she will be gone. In a gloriously amusing way for me. If you know one of my favorite movies, or the poster over there, something's happening that falls along with that amazing movie. So the next thing out of the Owl is going to really deal with Owlman and Ultraman duking it out over turf. And whoever is victorious will become the head honcho of the crime in Earth 3. So let's get our fingers crossed that Ultraman wins. Plus, there is no sex in Crime of Passion. They're not going to do it. Why? Because I can. Because we all know we still have to figure out what Apollo has to say, what Ares has to say about where Ultraman comes from and why he is the way he is, and whether or not they have sex at the end of it. Probably not. I'm saving it for a rainy day in Night of the Owl. Also, my story is Okami, which is loosely based off of my obsession with Inuyasha. I was watching it and it kind of came to me. Sorry. It's not going to follow the Inuyasha plot points at all, but the idea that Clark's a wolf demon and stuff kind of off of Inuyasha. It takes place in the present, not in feudal Japan. And From the Ashes, which is really fun. It's loosely based off of Justice League 3000, the idea that Justice League is needed somewhere else, and they have this abruptness of being taken from their world, placed somewhere else. It's very similar to their own, but it's kind of different in a lot of ways, and some ways that aren't particularly good. And they might have to face a threat that they've already failed to defeat, so that'll be interesting. Also, for non-DC things, Loki will be up tonight. It's round 2, Night in Marine. If you have seen last Sunday's Game of Thrones, then you know what I'm talking about. Khaleesi being awesome, saying, you know, take off your clothes to Daario, which was beautiful, by the way. He's a Viking, like Eric Northman. I need to go there. It's like I need to go to Norway and Australia and England, because rugged men, really beautiful. Gotta love them. Well, that's my video. I'll probably be doing a video Monday for Batman Superman number 11, and probably another one coming up soon dealing with Dragon Age, because I'm totally tempted to get the Uber special edition in the metal box, especially if I get the horse with the blade sticking out of his head. So this is my video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave a nice little comment. No rude comments, people, because we don't do rude here. I'm friendly to you, so be friendly to me. See you guys soon. Bye.